Hello, everybody. How's it going? Happy Saturday night. Hope you all had a great week. I know I had a great week. Happy Saturday night. I always got to remember to turn the volume off on the computer. I always forget that. Yeah, let me set up my mic a little bit here. I'm running it just a little bit behind. Steve, how's it going? Steve, are you going live tonight? Inquiring minds want to know. There you go. At 10:30ish. Okay. 10:30ish. Steve will be going live. Bobby Hall. What's up, Bobby Hall? Hello, John Gavin. Hello, Todd. Who else is here? Let's see, my malware bites notification is here. Now I just cleared that out. John Gavin. FVR. How you doing? Who else? Let's see. Did I miss anybody so far? I said Todd. All right, as people come in, I'll say hello to more people then. But hopefully everybody had a good week. I had a pretty good week. A little busy. I babysat one of my granddaughters. I got to spend some time with actually the two of them, her and her sister. And then what else did I do this week? Not much else. I just had some errands around and stuff like that. So it wasn't too bad. What do we have to drink tonight? Bobby, I was just getting to that point. We're gonna have something a little different tonight. I've had these in reserve and I haven't had one in a while. I usually save these for warmer weather, but it was warm for a little bit. Hey, Bill. Hey, William. Hey, Will. How are you? Good to see you. We're gonna have a Athletic Ripe Pursuit Lemon Radler. And it's a non-alcoholic beer. Now, I don't know how many of you guys are familiar with German beer tents over in Germany. Have you ever been to any of them? I was over there in a former life with my ex-wife. Had a family that lived in Germany in this town called Straubing, which was in Bavaria. And in August, they have this thing called the Volksfest, like late July, early August. And it's like on par with Oktoberfest. They have all the major breweries come in from around Bavaria, and each brewery would have their own tent. And they would set up these tents and have, literally, these tents would be like 2 football fields long, and along one wall would be just nothing but rotisserie chickens. Let's see, who's this? Hey, BHS, how are you, buddy? Got some Elijah Craig? Hey, Elijah Craig, I approve. Oh, wow, I just put this glove on backwards. How did I do that? I got my thumb in the pinky and my pinky in the thumb. No wonder it felt funny. I'm not even drinking. A bit harsh. This first one in a couple of weeks. I like Elijah Craig. It's one of the ones when I was drinking bourbon, I would have on hand all the time. I've kind of gotten into scotch a little bit too. Once in a while I will have a drink. I'm not quit alcohol altogether. I just don't drink it as often as I used to. So like if I get together with family, my brother-in-laws usually would have something on hand, either some kind of a bourbon or a scotch. So I've been enjoying a little bit of single malt once in a while. But so anyway, getting back to this story about the beer tents over in Germany. They would make a drink called a Radler, which would be half of a beer, and if you ever saw the steins that they got, that they fill, well, it's hard to imagine it here, but the steins they give you in a beer tent full of beer is huge. So they would make a Radler for people who didn't want as much beer. A lot of times the ladies would get it. And it's supposed to be half beer and half lemon soda. Hey Ray, how you doing? Ian, how you doing, Ian? And so this is supposed to be a take on that. I'll tell you right now, this is more like a summer shandy. And I've talked to the people at Athletic Brewing about this because you know, it's not sweet at all. It should be slightly sweet if it's got lemon soda, and it doesn't. What they did is they basically took beer and they lemon infused it. So it's got a little bit of a sour taste to it from the lemon. It's still good. It's a nice refreshing drink. It's a nice beer. It's got a nice flavor to it with a little hint of lemon, but it's definitely not a radler. They probably should have called it a shandy or something. So, yeah. Anyway, let's give it a pour. So this is our Athletic Brewing Company. I will call it a summer shandy, but they call it a lemon radler. All right. Let's put that off to the side. Cheers, everybody. Glad everybody's here. I appreciate you being here. Paul, how you doing? Good day. And let's have a toast. Saturday night. Cheers. Definitely got a little lemon bite to it, but it's very good. Let's see who else. Salante. Yeah, thank you, John. That's all right. Bottled water's fine. Share with whatever you got. All right. Let's see, Paul. And let's see. Anybody else before I start on? Oh, that's cool. Henninger. Nice. All right. All right. So the boss and the employer are going at it over here in the chat. All right, guys. So anyway, thanks for being here. Appreciate it. It's Saturday night. Let's do a little. Let's play a little bit of Heath today, and we'll do an unboxing. So we'll do a little show and tell. I got a box. Red wine. Bob, that's excellent. Hey, Bob, how are you? Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining in with a red wine. I had red wine the other day. Somebody had given me a bottle, and I had made some nice pasta, and I said, you know what? I am going to have some wine tonight. So the other night I had some nice wine. It was a nice Cabernet Sauvignon. So anyway, I got a box. Arrived. Safe and sound. Well, we'll find out if it's safe and sound once I open the box up. So is Dan here? Oh, Dan is here. Hey, Dan. Look what I got, Dan. Arrived today. We're doing a Heath unboxing, except I'm not making you guys wait the whole live stream for me to open it up and show you. So let's put that back up there. Let's get the box open. Wonderful box from the Great White North. Oh, I can show you what this is going to look like, because Dan's got the picture here of the finished. Yeah, we're going to find out. I'm opening the box now. This is the tower, guys. All right. And if I was to show you a picture of SA Tower as it stood, this is a spitting image of it. It was 100% on. Beautiful, beautiful job that he's done on this. And if you get a chance to go to the website, check out what Dan did with the interior, with the, like I said, the model board and all the other stuff. It comes out as one piece. So I have to get it. Dan had just been waiting for a little influx of money, and I will be ordering the inside of SA Tower next. So they're in the instruction sheet. Awesome. Awesome. All right, so let's see what we got here. Try to open this stuff up without breaking it. We got get my hobby knife again. Cut the tape. All right. The suspense is killing me. All right, so this is the chimney for the back of the building. So let's put that off to the side. And just cut this stuff open. Almost dropped it, Dan. It's a good thing it's in bubble wrap. All right, let me hold it on my lap. All right, this is the main structure. Look at that. That is nice. I think I should have paid extra and had you paint it for me, Dan. I don't know if I'm going to do as good a job as you did. I can tell this is the roof. So let's pull the roof out of this bubble wrap. All right. Oops, dropping the bubble wrap and stabbing myself with the knife. Good job, Ted. Here's the roof. Goes on top of the building, but not backwards like I just did. Here we go. Beautiful. I am so stoked. I am so stoked. I'm sure this is some of the other detail parts that go off to the side. I won't. I'm really, really, really happy about this. I think I showed off last week that I got my Rapido bus, so just in case I didn't, I got my Rapido bus. Public service transport. This is the buses I used to ride when I was a kid. Fishbowl. Excellent stuff. And I think that's it for this week. That's all I got to show. All right, Eugene, how are you? Thanks for joining on here. Really appreciate it. Did I miss anybody else? Dan's here. All right, awesome. All right. Oh, Willow Creek, Brad, you're here. How you doing? Good to see you, dude. All right, one more drink and then we'll get started. All right. All right. Move some stuff. Oh! I forgot. I did get resupplied by Spray Gunner. I have a friend of mine who is Trevorton. Hey, Will. Trevorton's not here. Well, I wonder why. Anyway, so I needed to resupply for some stuff from Spray Gunner. So I picked this up. On my layout, I have a bridge that I have to put together, and I've been trying to figure out how am I going to get it. It's the wing walls are built out of wood, and I was thinking about how am I going to get it to look like concrete. So I picked this up, ammo. A friend of mine is using the AK version of this. Spray Gunner doesn't have the AK version of this, so I bought the MiG equivalent. All right, and this goes on like a paste, and you smooth it out as best you can. And then if you want it even smoother, you sand it down a little bit, and then you paint it up or weather it whatever way you want, whatever colors you want. So I'm going to be experimenting with this. I had to resupply a couple of my oil brushes. The white's getting kind of beat up, so I had to get a brand new white. And then I got a black, which I haven't had before, so I picked up a black. You always use black. And then a new color. And I bought it as a set. And I needed the white. And it was funny because they were out of individual white. They were out of stock, but they had this 3-pack set of black, white, and this thing called Starship Filth. Starship Filth. You can see it's like a nice gray there. So I think I could be using that for something. Maybe I'll even try it on this car a little bit tonight. We'll see. I want to go back onto the doors. I don't think the doors came out enough, weathered enough. compared to the rest of the car. So I might go back and hit these a little bit and weather them up a little bit more. So maybe that'll be something to try the Starship filth with. We'll see. All right. Leave this on the side. We'll see if we get to it. So what we're going to do tonight is we're going to try to finish this up. I need to address the roof. All right. We did nothing with the roof. So definitely going to hit it with some wash. I might go with a little bit of rust. I don't want to make this a rust bucket. I might just go with a little bit of rust here and there. I took a brush that I want to use as a dry brush, and it was one of my cheap dollar store brushes, and I cut the bristles off to a little bit of stub. And I'm going to try using this for like a dry brush just to get a tiny bit of rust onto the car. All right. And some of the stuff we'll be using tonight is that we're definitely going to be using some of this track wash for like a dark wash, a dark rust. We're going to be using Starship wash across the top here, I think. We're going to use some of this. It's like a nice, if you think about a Starship, Starships are usually like a silver gray. So I think it'll work good on this silver. I do have this acrylic chipping paint. It's acrylic rust. And I have my old rust for the wheels when we get to the wheels, all right? And obviously we still need our Kursk soil for the trucks. And just in case I need it, some pigment fixers. So we might use a little bit of the rust pigment on top, and we'll be using the pigment fixer for, which I picked up a bottle of too, that I needed. We'll be using this too tonight if we get to that point. So I expect that we'll be done. We'll finish up. It should not be a problem getting this car done. And we'll be out in time to get to Steve's live stream. Don't forget to tune into Steve later on. He will be on at 10:30, I think he said, Steve, 10:30-ish. So maybe a little sooner if I don't take too much time tonight. And also, don't forget, I always want to mention Ray and Around the Layout podcast. I consider Ray almost a mentor to me now because he's given me so many good ideas and helped me work along getting this live stream a little bit better. So thank you, Ray. Make sure you tune into Around the Layout podcast. And that's it. Let's get started. All right. So we're going to start with the what I really should do. I think I mentioned it last week. These trucks are so far. Wait a minute. Oh, and I got to thank his right-hand man, Paul Kassir, because, Paul just said to me, what about me? Paul, you know I love you, Paul. I weathered the car for you, Paul. So anyway, don't forget Paul too. Paul's a major reason why the Around the Layout podcast stuff that happens in the background, getting the cars out to people, the ATLP cars out and all that other stuff. And he's going to be Ray's chauffeur when he gets to, and his protector of all things that are poisonous when Ray gets to Australia next month, in a couple of weeks, actually, right, Ray? Yeah, at least a month from now, right? Anyway, guys, let's get started. So we are going to take the trucks off the bottom, so we'll be able to do the wheels and the side frames. So let me find my, what do I need? I need a Phillips head screwdriver. So let me go into my toolbox and get that. In the meantime, what's everybody else been working on model-wise? Hopefully you guys are doing something good and constructive. I know this week I was chasing down with no luck, Steve, my short. I don't know. I might have to do, Steve suggested rewiring the whole layout. I might have to do that because I don't know where that thing is. So let's take this off here. Do not lose the screw. Take this off of here. Put them off to the side, safe place. I'm not sure if I'm going to pop any low profile wheels in. This is not a car I think I'm going to wind up keeping. I do have another one of these two that I'm going to weather up, but I didn't think they ever ran down the Amboy secondary, which would be running off the side of off from South Amboy. So they're just neat looking cars though, and I got them for a good price, so I couldn't pass it up. So, but we'll see, you know. So I will rust up the wheels that came with it, leave the couplers the way they are, and we'll go from there. And make sure this is not resting on anything that's delicate. All right. So I'm going to start with the, let's see, Starship wash. I'm going to give it a light wash down the center of the top of the roof here. And put a little bit out into the tray. Oh. Oh, I think this dropper's seen better days. Let's see. Yeah, this one's shot. I have to get another one. Let's toss this in the garbage. There we go. This one works. All right, put that off to the side. Put the lid back on here. We don't want no disasters. All right, so we'll take one of our brushes. Let's see, this one? No. Let's go with use this guy right here. And I'm going to go right down the middle. And you can see that this wash is by capillary action going into the grooves on top, which is good. So do a little bit more down here. Actually, may just and we will brush this on now. And again, we're going from the center of the car out to the side because this is the grime on the roof that's getting washed out and down the side of the car. So I'm bringing it out from the center to the opposite side of the car for now. And then I am going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to go down this way. You guys can see, I'm on camera, so it's good. And this Starship wash is kind of cool. It's got a little brownish grayish tone to it, at least to my eyes. And it goes nice against the silver. So I think that was a good choice on my part. And wipe the brush off, get it dry, and then start blending some of this in. Keep wiping the brush off. Wiping the brush off. Again, we put a lot on to take a lot off just to get the effect that we want. Maybe turn the car around. Do the same thing on this side. we're going to go back with another dry brush after this. So. We're also going to do, once I'm done doing this with the top, I am going to put some of that here. All right. Yeah. Okay. Let's put this down. Let's get another brush that is clean and dry. This guy right here. Let's loosen up the bristles a little bit. Here we have a question. You know what, Steve? I think I might have. My last resort for finding a short on the layout is going to be going down and cutting wires one at a time like I did the last time till I isolate it. I know the last time the short was on the cement industry side of the layout, so I know I can start from there. And then I think once I isolate that piece of track, I'm just going to have to go in with a magnifying glass and see what's going on. So that's the only thing I can think of. Another question was, let's see. Oh, okay, so yeah, you're okay. BHS is wiring his layout. All right. Ted, you showed me what a tightwad I am. I would have rinsed the pipette and used it. I've I've used these pipettes a few times. I mean, that was probably the third time I was trying to use that one. I think the whatever's inside the enamel ate through it and put a pinhole. This is like the third time I used it. I was using clear thinner in this one. So I buy these by the dozens. Not from the dollar store, because the dollar store doesn't have them. Let me pull out here. I get them from Amazon, I think. So I got all these. So I should probably throw them out a little sooner than I do. But let me take another one out while I have this out. But buy things on the cheap and in bulk, just like the sponges. I'll take a couple of these guys out. So. All right, and then the other question was, I don't worry about the stuff on the roof washing down. I mean, that's just a natural progression from if that was happening in weather. So, I can go back and wipe away if I needed to. So, it's really not too much fuss or muss when we do this stuff. So, at least not for me. And wipe some of this off because it's starting to build up on the brush. And the last thing I'm going to run across the top here, I'm going to let it set just a little bit. And then I'm going to run the sponge across it just to get rid of some of these brush strokes that you can see here. All right. Clean that off. I'm going to break out a sponge. I buy the sponge in bulk too. So these are ones that I found at my local supermarket for $2 a bag. I had a couple of bags of these, and then my wife, who I love immensely, found these on Amazon, and she got me a case that I had 100 of them in there. So I forget how many, not 100, but it's like I don't know how many come in a package, but let's see, what does it say? 32 in a package. So probably had about 8 packages in the box. So I got a lot of these laying around someplace. My only problem is that sometimes I forget to where I put them. So that does me in sometimes. So let's put that back. All right, so we're going to take one of these wedge sponges. The only complaint I got about these ones from Amazon, these are kind of very soft, whereas the ones from the supermarket are a little more firmer. Sometimes you want, a sponge that's a little firmer, but this is going to be okay for what we're doing tonight. So all I'm doing is very lightly rubbing it, just taking out some of the brush strokes that you can see from the brush. Just blending it in. Turn it around the other side. Okay. Now, if I wanted to, I could just leave it just the way it is, and as you can see, there's a slight little weathering on there, but we're going to go a little bit further. I could go further, where if I wanted to, with some of the earth tone earth tone pigments, or what I'm going to do tonight is a little bit of the rust. So we're going to do a rust tray over here. Our rust tray's got some of the track rust. It also has some medium rust and light rust in there, the pigments. Also, we have some of our track wash. So we're going to decanter out some of the track wash into the mixing tray here. And we're going to go a little light, across the top on this and see what we come up with. Using my handy dandy Ray Vortex mixer here. All right. Take some of the rust. I'm going to drop this in the tray over here. I kind of like this track wash the best because the other washes they have are really light. Even the medium rust is kind of bright. It's just a little too fresh of rust for me, We'll get a little bit of the lighter tones with the pigment, but that's just a little too much. I don't like to use that too much. So, all right, so we will take this brush and kind of just go right down the center here. And you can see the capillary action starting to work. And on top is where the water would pool up, and that's why we get some rust up here. Let's get a little bit more over here. Spread it out a little bit. Okay. Oh, you missed the color I started with. You talking about the wash? The wash we started with was the, where is it? Starship wash. This one right here. That's what we did to top the roof. We did before we did the rust wash. Right. So while this is wet, we can actually go back with another brush and put in some rust pigments while this is still wet. I need to loosen this brush up a little bit. Okay. And just start depositing some of this up there. And this pigment's going to give a little bit of texture to the rust. What's nice about the pigment, once everything dries, it'll dry and still look like it's powder, even though it'll be dried onto the finish of the model. So like I said, we have a mixture of all three shades in here, so that's going to give it some variation. I'm just stipple this on here. And blow off some of the excess. Without getting any spit on the model. All right, let's take a look at what our progress is here. All right, that's not too bad. And again, I'm going a little lighter than I normally do. I tend to go crazy sometimes, and I really don't want to go crazy on this one. So, all right, let's use this clean dry brush here just to knock off some more of the excess. Okay. Anybody else join us while we were busy here? Is Chris here tonight? Haven't seen Chris yet. Maybe he's too busy building his Z-scale empire. All right, I'm liking that. What do you guys think? It'll look a little better once it's dry. So probably by the time we're done tonight, at the end we can go back and look at it. All right. Can always add more. And again, what I always tell you guys is sometimes you walk away for a day or two and you come back and look at it and see if there's anything you want to change on it. More times than not, I'm happy with what I got, but once in a while I got to do a little something. Like I said, I'm talking about these doors, right? We're going to go and work on these doors a little bit more. I want to add a little bit more of a wash to them because I didn't think they came out dark enough. So let's move this out of the way and go back to our Starship wash. Let me clean, where's the brush that I had? I want to clean that off. Take the glasses off, Ted. There you go. That's not it. I think it was this one. Make sure it's clean. Go in and get our Starship wash and do a little bit across the top there. So we're just kind of redoing a little bit what we did the other night. Clean the brush off and wipe some of this down. Top to bottom. Let a little bit build up on the bottom ledge. And across some of the horizontal lips and edges here. Like I said, I just didn't think it was enough. It was very, I mean, I'm looking at it in person and it was barely noticeable in person. So I'm sure on the camera, it showed up even less. So that's why I'm going to go back and revisit this a little bit. Especially in here. Here we go. A little bit there, a little bit there, a little bit there. Go back with our clean brush, which is not so clean anymore. Well, let's go with a different brush here. This guy. And really work that down a little bit more. And we'll go back with our sponge next. We'll let that dry a little bit. We're going to go around the other side of the car and do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The Starship wash kind of works good on these silver doors. For the same reason it works good on the roof. It really takes the silver shine down. So bring some of this down here. Get into these creases here. All right, one more dip. Do this door here. Bring it down. Wipe some of that off. It's a little too much. Oop, that's a little heavy. We're going to have to wipe some of that away. Not a biggie. We'll get our clean brush, or big wide brush here. Make sure it's clean. And wipe a bunch of that away. There you go. Let me know if I'm talking too low. Sometimes I feel like I'm going into Bob Ross tones. Talking low. Happy little box cars. Happy little wheel sets. It's your world. You weather your box car however way you feel like. Just don't put happy little clouds on it. That would not be realistic. All right. Let's wipe this off. Let's go back around here and hit it with our sponge. All right, it's definitely a lot better than what we left off last week. And in here, I'll probably use one of these small little sponges. So let's just get the bulk of the stuff done with the big sponge. And this is what I talked about last week. Got to be careful with your details. Looks like I'm bending down a, make sure the other side looks the same. Might be bending down these latches. Let me look on the other side here. See what they're supposed to look like. Yep. Getting a little too crazy. And bend them back. Okay. For now. Make sure I'm in the camera here. As a public service announcement for Ray, I just saw Ray's email before about question of the month. If you get a chance, maybe go over to the Around the Layout podcast website and answer the question of the month. I know I've been very tardy in not doing that the past few months, so I will get over there after this stream tonight, Ray, and I promise I will give you an answer to the question of the month. All right, that's looking a lot better. I like that. Let's get our little doohickey sponge here and get in these little areas of the door. Just wipe some of that away. I'm also tardy with my description for Paul's car for this RPM. I really got to do that so Ray can print it out and put it on the card. All right, cool. I like that. Let's go back to the other side and clean our fingers off before we get rust stains where we don't want rust stains. Because I touched the top of the car there. All right. Always keep a paper towel handy and try not to knock into the camera. All right, let's wipe this. Oh, just also, guys, just as a programming note, I will not be on next Saturday. I will be attending the Valley Forge RPM in Malvern, Pennsylvania. I will be doing my hands-on live clinic there. The only thing is I'm not staying the whole weekend. It's only about an hour and a half from my house, and I have a bunch of other things I need to do that weekend, but I do have Saturday free, so I am going down early Saturday morning, giving my morning clinic. Then I'll be giving my afternoon clinic at 2:30, and probably right around dinner time I will be leaving and heading home again. The lovely Mrs. Ted is going to be with me. The woman behind the man. The woman that keeps the man in check, because otherwise I'd be going crazy. So she keeps me balanced. And most of the guys at the RPM know her because she's come to the different RPMs with me, and she's been my assistant a few times too. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, because this is in the Philadelphia area, just outside of Philadelphia, Valley Forge, PA, stop on by, bring a car, and I'll let you use my stuff to weather your car. And get into these hard to reach places here with this little sponge. Here we go. Step back and take a look at this. Make sure we're happy with it before we move on. Okay. Bring it up close to the camera. You guys notice a difference? It's a little bit darker from what it was from last week, but I think the effects, especially up close in person, I like it. So you can see the roof is starting to dry. So we're starting to get that nice effect on the roof there. Let's take a look on the other side. The other side, I want to give it another little wipe up here. This way I can talk about, you go back and look after a little bit just to see if there's anything you missed or anything you don't like. The sponge is starting to get a little messed up, so we're going to have to change sponges pretty soon. All right. All right, what do you think? Hey, Justin, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate you being here. And let's see if there's anybody else that stopped in before I move on. Let's see. Looking to see if my friend Rich is here. Rich stopped in last week and I didn't recognize him. And whenever I see Rich, I like to wish him kudos. Because we're always talking kudos with each other. What's going on here? It's just my computer's not behaving over here. Just give me a second, guys. All right. Nope, don't see him, but anyway, so we got the roof. We worked on the doors. All right. So I'm pretty happy with the side of the car. The roof, like I said, I didn't want to go too crazy with the roof on top there. I think I want to wipe a little bit of this away up here. All right. I think what I want to do now is I might just add a little bit of chipping along the roof line there. We'll see what happens. We'll do a little bit of that, and if I'm not happy with it, I'm going to wipe it away, and I'm going to just go back to not doing anything with it. So back to using the Rayolator vortex shaker. And we're going to see how my little modified brush does with doing a little bit of chipping. Okay, so we're going to drop some of this chipping fluid. It's a very dark rust color. And I think where we want to tackle this is that we want to go put some on the brush, knock off some excess. This looks very watery. Let's see. Might have to shake it up a little bit more. And let's see, we'll drop it in a different slot here. That's probably a little better. Yeah, that's better. All right, so we're going to knock a bunch off onto the paper towel, and we're going to dry brush some of this on. We're just going to stipple some up in the corner. Yeah. Get some more on the brush. Just a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy with it. And again, I'm not sure if I'm going to like this or not, so if I'm not happy with it, I will go back and wipe it away. Yeah. Here, let's get our little sponge here, because there's a spot here I don't like. All right. Okay, and another way you can do this too, let's see, I don't think I cut this even enough. I might have to go back and cut a little bit more. You can also go with one of your fine brushes. All right, you can take this 00 that I have here, and you can actually take a little dab of paint and very fine. Finally go with the brush. Here's the point of the brush to make some chipping. And again, like I said, if I go back and look at this later on and I'm not crazy about it, I am just going to go back and erase it. With acrylics, you would use some isopropyl alcohol to get rid of it, as opposed to going back with what do you call it? Thinner, if you were using enamels. So I look like up around where the rivets and the roof line meet. You can go back in there and just stipple it a little bit. Like I said, I don't want too much. You can go in with a little bit of the powder too, while it's still wet. Let's see, where's my rust? And the rust is over here. Take a little bit on the edge of the brush and kind of just put that along where you put those little marks there. And see what we did here, how it looks. Blow off the excess. Yeah, some of it stuck, some of it didn't. So go back a little bit more. Press it in there. I think I didn't press it in, so that's what happened. That's a little better. So you can see we got a little bit of rust spots going across the top. I might take a little bit away from here, but here and here I like. So I'm not overly crazy about that, but again, you go back and adjust. Sometimes random's good and sometimes it's not, so. All right, let's go to the other side, do the same thing. So we are going to go with our little brush here. Get some of this paint and do some little tiny random dots in the corner. Especially up in the corner there. Maybe a few around here. A little bit here. A bit in the corners of the doors here. A bit around, say, this area here. I think they keep these cars kind of in good shape. I'm not sure how rusty they got them. I guess I really should look at some more prototype pictures. Probably towards the end of Penn Central, they were a little bit more beat up and rusty. But I can go back and look if I have to. Yeah, let's go in with the with our pigment brush. Pick up some on the end. Deposit on top of the paint. I don't know if anybody's asked any questions. I haven't looked at the screen in a little bit, so I will take a short break to get a drink of beer and answer any questions if there's any questions before I move on. And go back and press this into the paint now. You know, this side's looking better than the other side, I think. And the pigment's only going to stick where I put the paint. And if there's no paint there, it's not going to stick. So it's going to go where I want it to be. Oh, yeah. Sorry about the earthquake. Here we go. What do you think, guys? I think this side looks a little better than the other side. The other side's okay, too. I think I might go back with a little alcohol. I gotta read this comment here. So you say, you know, if your wife worked for In-N-Out, she would remember that G stood for onion and GR stood for grilled onion. So now the wife nor the crew can get it right. It is off topic. That's pretty funny. I'll be honest with you. I have never gone to In-N-Out. I've been close to going, and I couldn't get my wife to go with me because usually, like, a couple times we've been out at LAX. If we're heading someplace out of Los Angeles, is our middle stop. and we'll stay overnight. And right down from the hotel that we stay at is a In-N-Out. And I could never get her to go there with me. And then when we got married in Las Vegas, there was an In-N-Out down about a mile from the hotel, but she wasn't having that either. So one of these days I'm going to get there because I want to get a double, you know. But thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, so let's see. Justin, I did some rust chipping on those Infinite cars and much happy with their appearance. Your cars came out good, dude. If you guys ever get a chance, go to Justin's Facebook page. Justin, maybe you could put a link in the chat. Phenomenal D&H layout. And D&H is like one of my favorite railroads. I mean, anything in the Northeast when I was growing up, D&H, EL, Penn Central, obviously, Lehigh Valley, Reading. Love all those railroads. And Justin's layout is phenomenal, great layout. So he's been showing off some of the weathering stuff he's been doing. And he did some D&H covered hoppers. And they're really good. They came out good, Justin. I think you don't want to overdo them, even though some people were showing pictures there of cars at D&H. I guess they didn't really take care of them. So let's see. I got my D&H car here. I can just, if you guys will just humor me for a second, I'm going to go to the layout and pull off my D&H covered hopper car and show to Justin. I did this on a whim one night on a Sunday night call. So it wasn't part of the live broadcast, but this is I think it's a Bowser car that I had gotten. And I did a pretty heavy job on it, D&H. And I said, man, I think I overdid it. But then after I saw some of the pictures those guys were sharing with you on your Facebook page, I was like, yeah, this car is actually not as much done as they were. So anyway, Justin, maybe one day if we ever meet, I will bring this car and give it to you, or we could trade or something because I love pickles. Just so you know, that's in answer to BHS. I'm not sure any of these ran on a cement district that I'm modeling, but it was a good car and I got it at a reasonable price and I put it together and I think the weathering came out all right on it too. So there you go, right? So you didn't overdo yours. Yours looks like mine, so it's good. So anyway. All right, guys, let me take a quick drink here and then we will move on to the trucks and the wheels and then we'll see where we're at because we're a little bit over an hour. So cheers, everybody. Again, happy Saturday night. I'm glad everybody's with us tonight. How many people we have here tonight? Let me look. Just scroll up a little bit here. 16 right now. All right, so it's all 16 of you guys. Salante, like John said before, and cheers. Very good. All right, so we are going to push this off to the side. We are going to take our trucks and wheels. We are going to weather them up, and then we will make sure we don't lose the screw, which I almost did. Let me put the screw off to the side and do on this one too. We'll put the trucks back on and we'll call it a night. All right, so again, as a reminder, we are going to take any kind of a tan or brown, kind of like stipple on some paint with that light tan or light brown color. You can use a light rust color too if you wanted to. And we are going to cover that up with our pigment while it's still wet. And that's how we get the textured look on our trucks. And then we will paint the wheels. So let's see, maybe we'll paint the wheels first. We'll do that first. So let me put a couple drops of our old rust in to the paint tray here. I mixed this earlier, but it's just been sitting there. So we're going to go back and mix a little bit more. On the Rayolator mixer. That's what we're calling this, Ray. We're going to call it the Rayolator, the FRA mixer. How about that? We'll call it that, Ray. What do you think? The FRA. Let's see, use up there. Okay, and you can see that's a lot lighter than I know you guys can't see it. I'm pointing at it. It's off the camera here. But this old rust is a lot lighter. than this chipping rust. All right. So sometimes you can use that chipping rust too. I've used it in the past just to get a variation on the wheel sets. But I like the little bit lighter. So we are going to do our wheels first. So we are going to take our wheel. We are going to, let me bring this over here so you guys can see what I'm doing. We're going to dip in our old rust and just spin the wheel and leave the brush in one location. So we get the whole inner dimension of that wheel painted with the rust. And you guys can see that. We're going to do the same thing on this one. Oh, what's going on with this? It wasn't spinning. Now it's going to spin. All right. Dip. Take it for a spin. One side done. We're going to do the other side. And like I said, this dries to a little bit darker color. It looks a little light right now. It definitely dries to a lighter color. I mean, to a darker color. One of the other options you can do too, you can actually drop some pigment in there if you wanted to too. I usually don't. But if you want to give it a little even more of a textured look in there. My first attempts at rusting wheel sets was putting thinner in there and putting some of the pigments in. But they came out with less than desirable results. This acrylic paint is a lot better. All right, so we got that one. Now we're going to go back and do this one. Same thing. Yeah, I got to go back and look at your comment about the pickles. I do like pickles, so if you're telling me that they have a lot of pickles on that sandwich. Oh, okay, so you're saying if you like pickles, you won't get them unless you ask for them. They have killer pickles. I would be asking for extra pickles. When I go to Chick-fil-A, they're getting to know me very well there because I ask for extra pickles on my Chick-fil-A sandwich because I love pickles. Okay. We have a Jewish deli in Edison that some friends of mine and me go to when we go to the Edison Greenberg show, because it's right outside the show. It's called Harold's Deli. And Harold Deli has a pickle bar. And if you like pickles, you will like Harold's Deli's pickle bar. Every conceivable flavor of pickle, along with sauerkraut, peppery cabbage, hot peppers, all kinds of stuff in that pickle bar. So I love Harold's Pickle Bar. And your typical Jewish deli too, kind of like if you ever gone to Katz in New York City, same deal. They just load like half a pound of meat onto 2 slices of rye bread. Unbelievable. I love it. I usually get the corned beef and pastrami mix with some nice Harold's mustard. Oh my God. All right, so oh man, I would love that if they put a ridiculous amount of pickles on there. Yeah. And there you go. Okay, there we go. So 2 trucks are done. We're going to go back to the first truck. We are going to paint up the side frames. So in our last clean spot over here, it's semi-clean spot. We are going to put some of the cursed soil in. And cursed soil, like I said, is just, it's like a very light beige tan. And I like to have that as an undertone to the dark pigment when I put the pigment on top. But like I said, any brown, any rust color paint, enamel, I would do enamel. I wouldn't do acrylic. Should work really well for you. So let's see how we're doing on time here. We are at an hour and 15 minutes. Almost at Steve time. And Steve, what are we doing tonight, Steve? What is our topic of On the Pine tonight? Is it more buildings? Yeah, I know it's no rush. I don't like to get into your time. I know it's bad enough that we got you going on late at night like this. I'm trying to think if we can work something out where maybe every other week you go on early, I go on late, or switch up, whatever. So, because I don't mind doing 10 o'clock or whatever if I had to. That's how I started out at first, but we'll try to work something out, both of us. Laundromat, adding the light to the sign. Awesome. Awesome. Did you see Dan? I'm sure you saw Dan put the laundromat up on the website for Yelton Models, and it looks really good. I guess that's maybe your picture he put up there. I'm not sure, but it's awesome. Came out really good. All right, so we're going to take some of this cursed soil. We are going to stipple it onto the side frame of the truck. And like I said, you can see it's a very light beige, tannish beige. Get all the paint, all the surfaces, top to bottom, the journals, the springs, everything. Do the other side too while we're at it, before we put the paintbrush down. Steve has been Dan's inspiration for a lot of new products. Steve's asking, hey, can you do this? And then next thing you know, Dan has got a drawing, and next thing you know, Dan's got a print. Next thing you know, it's on Steve's diorama. So it's been a lot of fun watching that progress, things going from idea to finished product usually within a week or two. So a lot of fun. All right, so we're going to take our pigment brush. We are going to take the Russian earth pigment that we have in our tray here. We're going to dab that on top. Into the wet paint. Knock off the excess. And you can see just a little bit of the undertone of that beige, tan beige showing through, but you have a nice rough texture on the outside, which is kind of how those trucks weather up. You don't see smooth paint on the trucks. We take a little bit of the rust, just a tiny bit, maybe put a little bit on the spring. Just a tiny bit, just to give it a hint. Happy little rust. And these happy little springs. There, let's see. Let's go back. Get some of the Russian earth pigment. Drop that on there. There we go. Knock off the excess. Need a little bit more in the springs there, so let's put a little bit in the springs. Let's add a little bit of rust. Missed a spot. Brush off some of the excess on that side. It came a little heavy. All right, and we got both sides of that truck done. One more truck to do. Repeat the process. Add the cursed swirl on there. I should get all the black plastic covered with that. Also, too, I might go back and do a little bit of the underframe detail. I haven't done that. You've probably noticed that I usually don't do the bottom of the car. But the bottom of the car could be the same, a lot of the same stuff. Put a wash on there, put a lot of the pigment, burnish it into the wash. To me, it's out of sight, out of mind, so I really don't bother with it. Again, we're going with trying to do cars quickly, so, but again, it's your car. As Bob Ross would say, it's your car. You do what you want with it. All right. Okay, we got both sides done. Gonna go back with our pigment brush and stipple that on top there. Knock the excess off. Move some of the excess off. Give a little bit of rust to the springs. I'm not sure how rusty the springs would be in real life, but all right, do the other side. Same thing. Knock that on there. A little bit of rust. Knock off the excess. Blow off the excess. And here we go. Maybe a little bit more here. Need a little bit more on the end here. All right, awesome. It's being stubborn on the springs for some reason. I don't know why. There we go. All right, ready to put these back on and then give the car a final walk around. Give a couple of test rolls on the thing here. Oh yeah, I did say I wanted to do this tank here. Let's do that tank real quick. Sorry, guys. Let's put this down. Same thing. You would hit it with your earth tone paint, either the cursed soil, some kind of brown. Anything that's hanging down below the frame of the car, you would want to probably hit. If you remember, we kind of did that with the passenger car we did a couple of weeks ago. Wipe off the excess there and get some of our pigment powder here. A little bit more hair on the side. There we go. All right. Move the paint. We didn't lose the screws. No, we're good. We didn't lose the screws. There's a 50-50 chance I would lose the screws by the end of the night, but I didn't lose the screws. So there you go. Here's one. I'll drop that in there. Center the truck on the onto the body. And batten down the hatches here. Just a little side note, when you're putting trucks on a car, I know most of you guys probably know this, you want one that's slightly tight, it doesn't swivel too much, and you want one that's going to be a little looser. And that's how you equalize the car. And the car will track good for you. Here you go, a little bonus for you tonight on the Saturday Night Live weathering. A little bonus tip. But I know most of you guys probably know that already. Drop this in there. So we tighten the other one a little bit more. This one will move a little loose. There you go. Okay, we're all done. Let's take a look. One more walk around the car before we leave. One side of the car. Okay. Remember last week, the ends of the car? We didn't do nothing much more with that. You can actually add some rust if you wanted to on the ends of the car. I didn't do that tonight. This part of the car, this side of the car, the top, and you can see that's really starting to dry. All right. Once it's fully dry, it'll look even better. The trucks in the bottom. The PC decals are too clean. No, it's not. Again, look a little closer, buddy. Look, there's some dust on here. If you remember last week, I thought I made them too weathered, and I wound up wiping a lot of it away. Yeah, Bobby, I like it better with the smaller rust spots on it. I was debating whether to even do any rust on this car, but I wanted to have a little bit. So, yeah, here you go. Like I said, it's your car. When you do your car, as Bob Ross would say, it's your car. You do whatever you want with it. It's your world. Okay, guys. Enough of my Bob Ross, my terrible Bob Ross imitation here. All right. Let's see. What time is it? It's 11:27. We are ending right on time tonight. Really appreciate you guys being here tonight. I really had a lot of fun doing this car over the last 2 weeks. Just like I said, a program reminder. Coming up right after me is Steve, BN Ironwood on the Pine. Well, he'll be doing his laundromat and sign tonight. Also, again, next week I will not be on. I will be busy the whole weekend. On Saturday, I will be doing the Valley Forge RPM. So we'll be there until late. Won't be getting home until late that night. Sunday, I got stuff going on with family. And then, so we'll be back on the following week. I might post a short video sometime during the week with something else. We'll see if I get a chance to do it. Again, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. You could be anywhere else on a Saturday night, but you are here with me, spending your time, hopefully having an adult beverage. And I really appreciate being here. Thanks, guys. Cheers and happy weekend. Catch you next week.